Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, let us start. Today we shall learn a new chapter, chapter 4, Climate of our geography textbook. Now I shall share my screen. So here is chapter 4, Climate. In the previous classes, we have learned about landforms and drainage. Drainage means about river systems. So these are the two of the three basic elements that one learns about natural environment of any area. If we want to learn about the natural environment of any area, we need to learn about the landforms, about the river systems, and we have to learn about the climatic conditions also. So in this chapter, we will learn about the third element, that is the atmospheric conditions that prevails over our country. That is about weather and the climatic conditions. So before we start, we may ask ourselves, some questions. Like, why do we wear woolen clothes in December, or why it is hot and uncomfortable in the month of May, and why it rains in June to July? Okay, so now can you tell me why do we wear woolens in December? Why do we wear woolens or woolen cloths in December? And why do we feel hot and uncomfortable in the month of May? Yes, can you tell me? Okay, the answers of all these questions can be found out by studying about the climate of India. Okay. Okay, right, to protect from cold. Very good. So to find the answers of all these questions, we have to learn about the climatic conditions of different parts of India. Okay, so before we start, let us learn the meaning of weather and the climate. So can you tell me the meaning of weather? Can you tell me the meaning of climate? Okay, here is the meaning. Okay, climate refers to the sum total of weather conditions and variations over a large area for a long period of time, that is more than 30 years or 40 years. And whereas weather refers to the state of the atmosphere over an area at any point of time. That means weather refers to the conditions of the atmosphere over an area at any point of time. So what is the time now? Now it is around 9 a.m. So at this time, what is the condition of the atmosphere? So in our place it is raining. So this is the condition of the atmosphere, and it is known as weather. What is the temperature now? For example, let us say it is 27 degrees Celsius now. So this is the condition of the atmosphere, and we call it weather. But climate refers to the sum total of weather conditions and variations over a large area for a long period of time. That means weather refers to the average of weather conditions. Okay, climate refers to the average of weather conditions for long period of time. So for example, how to find out the weather? How to find out the average? Can you tell me? Say for example, today a thermometer records maximum temperature, okay, maximum temperature of 25 degrees Celsius, okay, and minimum temperature 20 degrees Celsius. So to find out the daily mean, okay, to find out the daily mean or daily average temperature, what to do? Can you tell me? So we have to add maximum temperature, okay, with the minimum temperature, and to be divided by 2. Okay, then after this, can you tell me the result here? Here 25 plus 20, 25 plus 20, 45, right? 45 divided by 2 is equal to what? Is equal to 22.5 degree Celsius. So in this way, daily mean is calculated. We have to add maximum temperature of a day with minimum temperature to be divided by 2, because we have 2 individuals here. And to find out the monthly average also, we have to add all the daily means and to be divided by the number of days in the month. Likewise, to find out the annual average, we have to add all the monthly mean temperature to be divided by number of months in the year. And again, after finding out the annual mean, we have to add the annual mean, okay, of 30 years or 40 years, and to be divided by the number of years. After that, we will get a generalized temperature condition of a place, and that is what we call climate. Okay. So any question, boys and girls?
No, sir.
No,
Okay,
sir.
okay, good. Then let us continue. So we have known the differences between weather and the climate. Weather refers to the state of the atmosphere over an area of a given point of time, whereas climate refers to the average of weather conditions for a long period of time. And you must know that the elements of weather and the climate are the same. That is temperature, atmospheric pressure, wind, humidity. Okay. And then cloudiness, precipitation. So all these are the elements of weather and climate. And you may have observed that weather conditions fluctuate very often within a day. Just you will find that sometimes you will find the sky is very clear, sometimes it is cloudy, sometimes it rains, okay, sometimes temperature is rising, sometimes temperature is falling. So all this refers to the condition of the atmosphere at a given point of time. That is known as weather condition, okay, that is known as weather. But there is some common pattern over a few weeks or months. That is, sometimes we say that days are cool or hot, windy or calm, cloudy or bright, wet or dry. So on the basis of the generalized monthly atmospheric conditions, the year is divided into seasons such as winter, summer, or rainy seasons. So that means it tells about climate. Okay. So these are the main differences between climate and weather. And here, can you tell me what is the type of climate enjoying by India, as you have learned in the previous classes? I think you will find that the type of climate enjoyed by India is monsoon. Okay, monsoon type of climate. Okay, it is, we can say, subtropical monsoon type of climate. And about the meaning of monsoon, it is given here. The word monsoon is derived from the Arabic word mausim, which literally means season. So this is the dictionary meaning of the word monsoon. Monsoon means season. But in geography, monsoon refers to the seasonal reversal in the wind direction during a year. See, with the change of the season, the direction of wind is changed, and that is what we call monsoon. And we shall discuss about monsoon in detail later on. So let us continue. As mentioned here, the climate in India is described as the monsoon type. Okay, and in Asia, this type of climate is found mainly in the south and the southeast. Okay, and that means in the southern part of the Asian continent and the southeastern part of the Asian continent. And despite an overall unity in general pattern, there is a perceptible regional variation in the climatic conditions within the country. So we have known that the type of climate found in India is monsoon everywhere. Okay, maybe a coastal area, maybe a mountainous region, maybe a plateau region, desert regions. Everywhere we enjoy monsoon type of climate. So this is the generalized pattern. However, if we examine very carefully, okay, about the weather conditions, about the climatic conditions, then we find perceptible regional variation in the climatic condition within the country. That means in some places we find very high temperature, in other places we find very cold temperature, in some places we find heavy rainfall, while in the other areas we get little rainfall. So in this way, we find regional variations in the climatic conditions within India. And now let us take two important elements of weather and the climate, that is temperature and the precipitation, and examine how they vary from place to place and from season to season. Okay, so we have example here. In summer, the mercury occasionally touches 50 degrees Celsius in some part of Rajasthan desert, whereas it may be around 20 degrees Celsius in Pahalgam in Jammu and Kashmir. Remember, in summer season, temperature touches around 50 degrees Celsius in some part of Rajasthan desert, whereas in the same season, that is in summer, 20 degrees Celsius in Pahalgam in Jammu and Kashmir. If we look, okay, at map showing temperature conditions, just see here, this color, okay, This color represents temperature more than 27 degrees Celsius. And this one again 25 to 27. Okay, just see here. We find some here. Actually here in Rajasthan area, as mentioned in the book, okay, temperature here in the western part of Rajasthan sometimes records, okay, 50 degrees Celsius. Whereas in Jammu and Kashmir area, in Pahalgam, okay, it is only 20 degrees Celsius in the summer season. So in this way, we find a lot of variation in the temperature conditions. See, whereas other areas like Ladakh region, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, then Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim, okay, recorded low temperature, whereas here the northern plains, then Rajasthan records high temperatures. So in this way, we find variations in the temperature conditions. On a winter night, temperature at Dras in the Jammu and Kashmir may be as low as minus 45 degrees Celsius. Okay, in winter season, temperature of Dras in the Jammu and Kashmir may be as low as minus 45. Very, very cold. Minus, okay. Thiruvananthapuram, on the other hand, may have temperature of 22 degrees Celsius on the same night. Thiruvananthapuram, the capital of Kerala, okay, it is on the sea coast, records only 22 degrees Celsius in winter. Just let us find out the location, okay, of Pahalgam. See, we have learned about Pahalgam. Location of Pahalgam is here. It is in Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, this red dot represents the location of Pahalgam in Jammu and Kashmir, and this is the location of Dras, minus 45 degrees Celsius in winter. Now it is in the Union Territory of Ladakh. Okay, so this red dot represents location of Dras. Here the temperature records minus 45. Okay. And whereas in Kerala, this here, Thiruvananthapuram, okay, here, Thiruvananthapuram, in the winter season, temperature is only about 22 degrees Celsius. So, here in the box, we find some information. Okay, in certain places there is a wide difference between the day temperature and the night temperature, and this is what we call range of temperature. So in this case, see, in this case, say for example, maximum temperature of a day is 25 and the minimum temperature is 20. So to find out the range of temperature, okay, so we have to subtract the minimum temperature from the maximum temperature. And if you subtract, okay, maximum temperature, minimum temperature from maximum, we will get 5 degrees Celsius. So this 5 is the range of temperature. So in some places we find a wide differences between the day and the night temperature. That is, we have a big range of temperature. For example, Rajasthan desert. Okay, in the third desert, the day temperature may rise to 50 degrees Celsius and drop down to nearly 15 degrees Celsius the same night. That means the range of temperature in third desert is 50 degree minus 15. That is 35 degrees Celsius, I think, the range of temperature. Can you tell me why? Why in Rajasthan desert the range of temperature is very high? That means very hot during the daytime and very cold during the night time. Can you tell me? Yes, anybody who can tell me or who can suggest me. You must know that during the daytime in Rajasthan, the temperature is very, very high, whereas in the night time, it freezes. Okay, temperature is low, 15 degrees Celsius or even 10 degrees Celsius. So we have to use woolen cloths in the night time in Thar Desert. Can you tell me why?
During daytime, the sun absorbs the sunlight rays.
Then in the night time, what happened?
In the nighttime, the sun cools down fastly, so it becomes around 15 degrees Celsius.
Okay. Yes, we know that the desert areas, okay, are covered with a thick layer of sand, right? And see, these sands, okay, are not compact. So daytime they may absorb heat but cannot retain heat. So since it is loose, so there will be rapid radiation cooling at night. Whatever absorbed during the daytime, okay, from the sunlight, it will be radiated back very quickly during the night time because it is covered with sand, loose sand, and that is why the temperature drops very quickly. And one more reason we can say is that in the desert area, nights are very clear. If there were clouds in the sky, that will also retain this high temperature. And one more thing we can say is that there is less vegetation, okay, in the desert areas also. That is another point. So in this way we can explain. And on the other hand, there is hardly any difference in the day and the night temperature in Andaman Nicobar Islands or in Kerala. Can you tell me why? In the Andaman Nicobar Island, the range of temperature is very low. For example, daytime may be 27 and nighttime may be 26. Only we may find a difference of 1 degree Celsius. Likewise, in Kerala also we find the range of temperature very low. Can you tell me why? Actually, here these places, okay, has the oceanic influence. So for example, here in the Kerala also, here we have Kerala, and see the oceans influence the temperature of the coastal areas. Andaman Nicobar Island also, just see here, Andaman Nicobar Island is here, and it is surrounded by oceans. And due to oceanic influence, okay, the range of temperature is low. So what happened? During the daytime, cold sea breezes will blow towards the coastal areas, thus moderating the temperature. Okay, and likewise, in the nighttime also, the reverse is the case. Okay. So in this way, these coastal areas have oceanic influence, and that is why the range of temperature is low in the islands or in the coastal areas. Do you remember about the sea breezes and the land breezes? See, during the daytime, land is heated quickly, right? Land is heated quickly, and therefore we find low temperature. And when we have low temperature, then cold wind from the oceans will blow towards the land. That is known as what? Sea breeze, right? And at night time, see, the sea water remains warm, and that is why you will find a low pressure here, and that is why wind will blow from the land towards the sea. That is known as land breezes. And due to the local winds like land breezes and the sea breezes, temperature is moderated in the coastal areas, and that is why we find this low range of temperature. Okay. Now let us continue about the regional variation of climatic conditions. We have learned about temperature. Now let us learn about precipitation. Okay, so there are variations not only in the form of the types of precipitation, but also in its amount and the seasonal distribution. So generally we find two main types of precipitation. Those are rainfall, snowfall. In addition to this, we have sleet and hail. But let us discuss only about rainfall and snowfall. See, in India, we have different types of precipitation, okay, occurring in different areas. For example, in the mountainous area, we find snowfall. In the plain areas, in the coastal areas, we find rainfall. So the type of precipitation is also different from one place to another place. Not only this, it is also differed in terms of amount also, okay. While precipitation is mostly in the form of snowfall, in the upper part of the Himalaya, it rains over the rest of the country. As I have told you, the annual precipitation varies from over 400 centimeters in Meghalaya to less than 10 centimeters in Ladakh and the western Rajasthan. Just look at this map. So this map shows the distribution of annual rainfall. Here, see the color code, okay. This color represents rainfall more than 400 centimeters, and generally we find here in Meghalaya, rainfall is more than 400 centimeters here in the upper Assam, here also. Then in the western coastal plain also, in the western slope of the western Ghat, we find very heavy rainfall, more than 400 centimeters in a year, whereas the western part of Rajasthan receives little rainfall, that is less than 20 centimeters in a year. In this way, we find a lot of variation in the amount of precipitation, that is in the amount of rainfall. Okay, and likewise we find differences from season to season also. Most part of the country receive rainfall from June to September. Okay, but some parts like Tamil Nadu coast get large portion of rainfall from the winter, okay, during the winter season. This is October and November, that is here, just here, this area, okay, this area Tamil Nadu coast receive rainfall from winter, okay, during winter, okay, during winter season, whereas the remaining part of India, the rest of India here receives rainfall mainly from June to September. That is the point mentioned here. And in general, the coastal areas experience less contrasts in temperature conditions. Seasonal contrasts are more in the interior of the country. And that means, see here, we find high range of temperature. Okay, we find high range of temperature in the inner part. Okay, in the interior of the country here, we find higher range of temperature. Whereas in the coastal areas, we find lower range of temperature. That is the point mentioned here. And there is decrease in the rainfall generally from east to west in the northern plains. Just see here. Here we have the map. And here in the northern plain, the amount of rainfall decreases as we move towards the west in this way. Just see the color. So these color codes represent rainfall between 100 to 200, and next we have 60 to 100, then 40 to 60, then 20 to 40. Just see the color. Here the temperature decreases. Just here this is 100 to 200, then what is the next? Then 60 to 100, then 40 to 60. 60 to 100, then 40 to 60, then 20 to 40, then less than 20. So in this way, in the northern plain, the amount of rainfall decreases from the east towards the west. Okay, accordingly, so now we have learned that we find a lot of variation in the temperature condition in different parts of India, and likewise we find a lot of variation in the amount of precipitation from place to place, and accordingly we find different types of food habits. Means we find different types of food we eat, then different types of clothes we wear, and the different types of houses we live in. Okay, now let us discuss about three important questions here. The first question is, why the houses in Rajasthan have thick walls and flat roofs? Why the houses in Rajasthan have thick walls and the flat roofs? Just see, we have a photograph here. So this is a typical house in the rural areas of Rajasthan, and here we see that the walls are very thick, made of mud, and at the same time the roof is also flat. So this is a photograph. Okay, we have another photograph also. So this is another photograph, okay, in the western part of Rajasthan. Not only the houses, even the animal sheds also. See, animal sheds also have very thick walls. Can you tell me why? So this is another photograph in Thar Desert. Here we find that the roofs are flat and walls are thick. Can you tell me why? Yes, anybody? Yes. So we have learned that in Thar Desert in Rajasthan, days are very hot and nights are very cold. So houses in the rural Rajasthan, okay, have very thick walls and flat roofs because the thick mud walls protect hot conditions, okay, hot burning days. The thick mud walls protect hot burning days and cold freezing nights. Okay, we know that the nights are very cold in the desert, and those cold winds also are also protected by these thick mud walls. So that is why we need to have thick walls in desert, just to beat the heat, okay, just to protect the hot burning days. And at the same time, you know, in Rajasthan area, particularly in the western part of Rajasthan, there is very little rainfall, less than 20 centimeters in a year. That means we can have flat roofs also, since the rainfall is very little. So this is the main reason, okay, to beat the summer heat. The walls are thick. At the same time, since there is little rainfall, okay, the houses have flat roofs. Another question: why is it that the houses in Terai region and in Goa and Mangalore have sloping roofs? Terai, you know, foothills of the Himalaya. In these regions, we find these sloping roofs. Okay, we find sloping roofs. Just see here, like this, sloping roofs. Not only in Terai, in our place also, then in Mangalore and Goa also we find sloping roofs, and we have a photograph here. So this is a typical rural house or houses in the Terai region of Nepal. I think you will find thatched roof houses having steep slopes. So what could be the reason for this?
So that the water does not get stored.
Yes, very good. Because Terai, you know, receives heavy rainfall. That is why they have to have these steep slope. Because if we have steep slopes of roof, then the rainwater will be running down quickly, right? The rainwater will be. So when there is rainfall, the rainwater will be going down quickly, and because of that we need to have these steep slopes of roofs in Terai region. Very good. Then the last one: why houses in Assam are built on stilts? Why houses in Assam are built on stilts? Do you know stilt houses? See, this is a photograph showing stilt houses. Just see, I think you will be seeing pillars here, wooden pillars here. So this is an agricultural field, and above the wooden pillars we have a platform, and above the platform houses are constructed, and this is what I call still houses. Okay, still houses. And the question is, in Assam, in rural areas, houses are built on stilts. So what could be the reason for this?
When
Yes.
In
when
Assam, there is a high rainfall because of that flood may occur. So.
Yes, very good. To protect the flood. So if I show this photograph, see here, because Assam, okay, in Assam, flood occurs frequently, right? You are right. In Assam, flood occurs very, very frequently, and to protect from the flood water, houses in the rural areas have to construct on the stilts, as you will see here. Is you are seeing here. Okay, when there is flood, since the houses are constructed on the stilt, so it is protected from the flooding, as you are seeing here. Okay, on the right side before the flood, on the left side after the flood, and that is why houses in Assam are built on the stilts. So any question, boys and girls?
no, sir.
Okay, then
Sure.
let us stop here for today. Thank you very much for joining my class. Thank you all.
Yes, sir.